The grand finals are here, and no, you're not seeing double, triple, or quadruple. This is actually just the 4th time that they have faced off in the EPT Open Cup in a row. They have faced each other many more times than just 4. But in a row, doesn't often happen. One person stood above the rest for the majority of this Open Cup, and that was here Marine for a very long time. MaxPax would occasionally pop up and take the finals. He does have some golds under his belt as well. But then Clem came in to really start dominating. And then there's MaxPax, who seems to be the only one who could match his consistency. Yet he has not matched his wins. Not yet anyways. We're always waiting to see if it turns around. In the bottom right, it is MaxPax. Top left, Clem. MaxPax seemed like he was going to start a new trend when he 3-0'd Clem 3 or 4 weeks ago. But then afterward, could not defeat him in a very, very close best of 5, then a 3-2 in Clem's favor. And then last week, I'm pretty sure it was a 3-1, and so Clem seems to have handled the reins again. You know, he's got control of them again. Since MaxPax seems to mostly rely on the same concept, slightly different execution, it does seem to be a more matter of whether or not Clem is on point. The MaxPax is by far the most winningest Protoss player in the EPT EU. It is here Marine who still remains the most winningest. Clem is right behind him, however. I believe he's 3 gold medals away from tying things up. Might have... Maybe it's actually 2. Here Marine has 57, Clem has 55, so yeah, it's 2. So if he wins this one again, then he is 1 away. And my prediction of Clem taking the gold medal lead before the end of this year will come true. I don't think it was a terribly gambly call, to be honest. I think people would nod their head and be like, yeah, that's probably right. But there's always that chance that Clem's momentum would break before it really got close. Seems just continue ramping up, actually. So, MaxPax gonna go ahead and send his Adept across the map. He's already got that Zealot across the map with the probe. 1 SCV already down. Second one looking to be killed, too. Not gonna get killed, but, I mean, that probe's on the hunt, so maybe. 1 Marine actually gets sliced down from the Zealot. Clem, not as prepared as you would expect, is able to take on the probe with the SCV and the help of a repair, and the Zealot will go down as well eventually, thanks to a second Marine popping out. A Hellion is on the way, but this has gotten a little too convoluted. I mean, this is a lot of micro that Clem has to do. A supply block as the command center is your supply here, and then 2 Adepts now combating 3 units. I mean, this is going to be real close. That command center finishes, the bunker will finish, the Hellion pops out, and things will finally settle after some heckin' micro battles. But yeah, that's not ideal. So, I mean, that's the best way to put it. That is not an ideal start for a Terran player who otherwise would know MaxPax is an aggressive opener and then would maybe have that bunker actually finish faster. I mean, there wasn't as much time for him to do the little micro dance with the SCVs. It seems like he was taken aback in that crucial first second of the attack. And then to have to lay a reactor to build those extra Marines is painful. He was probably going to get the Hellion anyway, to be fair. But, you know, maybe he would have gone for a Widow Miner right in a tank or something. He should have gotten the Hellion. He does against MaxPax to get that full-on scout on the 4-gate presence, and it is a 4-gate. And then he does still like to add in at least 1 Widow Mine drop before adding on those tanks. Any delay in that factory can be crucial, since the factory is really the integral unit to defending the early portion of the 4-gate attack. Now, I said it's a 4-gate. It's actually not. It is a 3-gate. It is only 3 gateways. So MaxPax, it seems like he believes he's forced to adapt to Clem, because I think he actually just full-on goes 4-gate against all other Terrans and has basically no problem, as we've seen today. But against Clem, his 4-gate is not winning him any games. They're hardly getting him into even good positions. There's been a couple of games where they certainly have, but the overall trend has been Clem has figured this out. So a 3-gate kind of puts you in the middle. I don't think it's defensively minded for a guy like MaxPax, who's very used to being in the driver's seat. Oh, 2 Hellions were built, my bad. So again, further delay on the factory tank production. Medevac just went down, I believe. Widowmine will burrow and will get a decent shot. 7 probes in total go down. Widowmine and Hellions combined. But MaxPax has started again his 3-gate attack, not 4-gate. A tank will siege up and start blasting away to protect those SCVs. But I was trying to say, before all that happened, was that MaxPax probably doesn't worry about having to set up defensively, since he's always the one aggressing and people assume 4-gate from him. So it's not so much that he wants to be prepared against someone going for a 3 racks, because no one really does that against the guy. It's that he wants the choice to be able to play a little more economically, but if he's given the opportunity to attack with his stalkers, he'll do it. And he'll build up quite the stalker ball too. But if he figured I really am not getting this to work, he can maybe move on to the macro a little bit better. Now that would have been true had he not taken 10 probes with the damage. 8 probes with the damage. Then yeah, his economy would be better swapped into macro-wise, since the 3 and not 4 gate, but he lost those probes. So, I mean, MaxPax, basically his Kijiggerin here, his little adaptation has been all for naught. It's moot. He's still in that position where he has to make that miracle hold of the first bio attack, because his aggressive stance has not worked. Thank you, Relentless AO Lel, for that Prime sub, by the way. That's a decent amount of stalkers. You know, that 4th gate being added in, but Clem is doing an excellent job protecting all of the integral parts of his structure and economy. Infrastructure. Observer just got taken down too. MaxPax is trying to build up that economy, by the way. It would actually have been a fine scenario. It's still difficult, but like workable scenario if he hadn't lost so many probes. Then he would have already been saturated on his 3-base setup 40 seconds ago. Putting the rest of his resources into a slightly faster forge, slightly faster robo and robotic space, what have you. Clem's ready to tango. It's got Stim, combat shields, medevac's on the way, 3 tanks moving forward. MaxPax taking down some units on their move across the map. No marauders as of yet. And of course is setting up for his run by, not something that Clem should be unfamiliar with. He does have units stacking up in his main base. Leaving 1 bunker behind as well, because why not? MaxPax's army doesn't look all that strong. Its army supply-wise doesn't look that bad, but okay, the Colossus now makes it look a lot better. And the injured Terran army also makes this look much more promising. Well, the Concave will help out Clem, of course, but he's down to 1 tank and still an injured bio army, and he's still dealing with the Zealot run-bys, as the reinforcements weren't quite enough to make this easy peasy lemon squeezy. Zealot in the main base as well, distracting Clem as he's unable to force the issue on the front lines. MaxPax has once again done it. He has bridged the gap between the attack and the defense successfully. Now, Clem didn't lose many SCVs, but he has lost the most powerful power spike of this particular time, I suppose. Could have another one in the future if things go better for him, but right now, not going so hot. Tanks are cleared out. Bio is left to tango with the Zealot, Stalkers, and Colossus, which is the real problem. The Stalkers can move forward and start one-shotting many of these units. Both medevacs go down. Marauders forced to stim once again, and the Zealots are starting to wear a little thin, but yeah. Hey, that's 6 Marauders alive, which is better than the alternative, but Clem not, again, finding the aggression he was hoping for. War Prism is going to be recalled, I believe in time. Yeah, definitely in time. Instant reaction right there. And that'll be something that Clem doesn't have to worry about for the next 30 seconds. Which isn't a lot of time. Unfortunately, the recall can be led right into another shift queue across the map, and then you have to worry about it again. MaxPax on 3-base economy, now getting up to a 4th base situation. Clem does have a superior upgrade. And he does have, again, all those Marauders saved from earlier that are now at full health. So this Protoss army has to be extremely careful. Clearing out the Wood Mines is a great start for MaxPax. The Observer remains untouched. Zealots tried to enter into the natural, but were unsuccessful. And now MaxPax is going to try and take the engagement, choosing to go over to the left side first and foremost. Clem tries to jump on top of the weakened Colossus, but they are not as vulnerable as he would like. One of them does go down, but many of the other Protoss units are still alive, still cracking here. And the Zealots even interrupting that economy. Clem, forced to disengage, is in a lot of trouble. The army was not strong enough. Need a couple of Wood Mines to help out. The ones that were cleared out, so you needed to be able to get more of a concrete concave rather than kind of like a 20% attack into 80% attack. And he needed those Colossus to be a little more vulnerable when MaxPax moved the way that he did. Fortunately, only one was vulnerable. And Clem is on the ropes. Forced to take his third elsewhere. He's taking his ball home. Vikings trying to pop out, updeal with the Colossus, and now trying to help out against that War Prism, which is just healthy enough to get a full warp in. Just barely. BT's included. Clem knows he's in a lot of trouble because it's not about what's happening right now necessarily, as he might be able to clean things up. It's about what's happening elsewhere. MaxPax is continuing to expand. He knows it. He's going to tap out. GG. I thought he was going to be in way more trouble since he lost the probes. Did not find a lot of damage. Any damage with the 3-gate. I think one of the major problems was actually the weakened bio on the first attack. Not having them entirely healed up. Also hitting just slightly after the Colossus popped. A bit of a bummer. In the top left, we have MaxPax for Psystorm Gaming. The bottom right for Team Liquid, it is Clem. Things did not go according to plan. Clem unable to get to that devastating first attack when he finally gets out in the map. MaxPax then able to take control over the scenario. MaxPax has a skill there, that's for sure. I think last week, MaxPax opened with game 1 as well. I think. And then Clem brought it back. I don't quite remember. But again, I want to emphasize that overall Clem is favored to win this series. He is in the year 2023, 18-12 in matches, 57-42 in games. So, you know, it's not completely one-sided, that's for sure. But he is favored. MaxPax seems to be the sole representative for Protoss when it comes to these later stages of the bracket. Showtime sometimes gets to the semifinals, rarely into the finals. It's pretty much always been MaxPax as a real contender for that. So many Protoss, though, are in the bracket. It's not like our Zergs, which have just disappeared. Dropped off the face of the earth. Only Lambo holding down the fort. Well, Wayne, too, actually. Wayne signs up for a lot of them. But Wayne actually got knocked out by Unknown. It's the Terrans that are the All-Stars. First the Hero Marine Cup, and now heading into Clem Cup territory. I guess we'll make that the official stance once Clem takes his 59th gold medal, I believe it was. 58th, I think. He's at 55, Hero Marine's at 57, so... yeah, Clem, once he gets his 58th gold medal, officially be the Clem Cup. MaxPax has like 20-something, I think, which is really impressive for a non-Hero Marine or Clem player, but yeah, still very, very far away to go. Last game didn't start amazingly for Clem. He recorrected, but it still wasn't the greatest start. Then I think it actually got pretty good for him. Very good. And then it still ended up blowing his way. So it's hard to say what means what early signs there are about who's going to win the game. But I would say that this time around, MaxPax does not get that same chaos going in the early stages. So far has denied the Reaper vision of the main base. But he's once again going into a Twilight Council. And now against Clem, we do have to question whether or not it's a 4-gate. It does seem to be a Clem special, him not going for a 4-gate immediately, which I think is very appropriate. And I've talked a lot about this before, but it just seems like MaxPax is really determined to kind of prove something, that he can do this one thing that is considered not great to do every single game, but he can do it, and he can win with it. But it seems like after a couple of losses to the guy, he's saying now, like, you know what, that, like, it's time to be able to change things up. Go for 2, 3, and 4-gate. MaxPax's committal to the Adepts did not turn out very well. 2 SCVs go down for 2 Adepts, and that's literally it. Not even a Marine died, so MaxPax just not... I'm actually... Like, the Hellion coming back was a surprise to MaxPax, but the 4 Marines that were popped out and caught the Adepts where they did was already a reason, I feel like, not to shade, but then just a mistake or overestimation. Something went wrong there. But MaxPax definitely did not get what he wanted from 2 Adepts. You know, Clem looking to once again enter into that natural to find a similar amount of probe kills. That would be nice, wouldn't it? But he has 1 Hellion instead of 2. So wouldn't mind drop is heading towards the main base. This is certainly the way that Clem opts to open versus MaxPax very often. Not always, but very often. And MaxPax is aware of it. This is his first sign of a Twilight Council, by the way, but I would assume he's assuming. He absolutely is. Look at this. SimCity, tanks being produced. Yeah, of course. And he does opt to go for the Raven 9 times out of 10. Not only is there a chance that MaxPax goes for a Dark Shrine opener, which he's been less inclined to do lately, but it also is actually just helpful. I mean, not only do you get the auto turret, which is sometimes really helpful, sometimes a meh thing versus the 4-gate, but more importantly, it comes into play when you do make your trek across the map, and you do go for that push up against a Colossus. If you had that in the last game, it'd be very different. This time around, we had the Reaper Hellion combo kill 4 probes. It is a 3-gate yet again from MaxPax, and it is the faster 3rd Nexus due to that. Oh, the Raven just went down! MaxPax finding an opportunity with the War Prism. Clem probably was thinking first and foremost to let him kill any SCVs, and only as the Reaper, the Raven, was 1 shot away from death, realizing that was going to go down. And you don't want to recommit to that. That is a lot of time and resources spent on your starport that you need to be moving on to medevacs for. So he's missing that interference matrix that I just said would have made a big difference in the last game. And would have been excellent to have here too. Tank was about to go down. Good pickup right there. And no doubt a repair on both of these units. Clem just trying to maximize his army force as he does prepare to move out. Gotta wait for combat shield and stim, of course, so that's a little haste. He's not preparing to move out quite yet, but he's got a unit retention, kind of the name of the game right now, as it seems his stim and combat shields are completely safe. It is just about not trading out unfairly on the SCVs or army. Clem is gonna go for another drop. So last game his Widow Mine drop got killed. Oh boy. Oh boy. Oh no. Oh geez. Oh lord. Oh baby. Ah, Medevac's gonna die. Yeah, that was really awkward. That was just straight up awkward. Because it kind of looked like Clem knew that he was kind of revealed and then wanted to do it anyway. You know what? He might have been trying to go for a big ol' attack. A defensive attack. Marines here. Marines pop out of the bunker. He corrals the stalkers. A dangerous trick, though, without stim. I guess it was 15 seconds away from finishing. Well, whatever the plan was, it didn't work out. That medevac going down is painful. Otherwise, his unit retention was looking very good. MaxPax has clearly moved on from the attack with stalkers, so you'll no doubt have his Warp Prism rounds, but is moving on to the macro game. 3rd base is now saturated. 4th base is on the way for the Protoss. Colossus number 1 is already out. Number 2 will start up soon. This time around, the Widow Mine drop will not be scouted, but then it also didn't scout the Warp Prism, I don't think, so. But he knows about it because it's MaxPax. Like, who'da thunk it, right? And Clem opting for a 3rd CC. Now, I mentioned this earlier today, but there was a 3-2 match between these guys where Clem did end up winning, just barely, in which Clem was losing and then decided to go full-on, like, macro turtle mode. And that worked. That was a good choice. And I wonder if he's going to be thinking about doing it again. Not in this game, as we can see. It's kind of more typical setup, but perhaps if he loses this as well. Viking will take care of the War Prism. Only a couple of Zealots left to run by into the natural. My bad. Of course, there's more Zealots. More and more and more. And the reinforcements are not yet out. He's gonna have to micro back at home while also worrying about his army on the front lines. Stalker's gonna find a remnant of the reinforcements and take them out cost efficiently. Now it looks like Clem is actually just saying, go ahead, have them, and I'm gonna jump on top of the rest of your army. Hopefully you won't have enough protection, but the Stalker's out of protection most of the time. The Zealots are, and the Zealots are here. They get bopped by a couple of Widow Mines, but they will last long enough for the rest of the Protoss army to collapse in on the Terran force, and Clem is just gonna tap out. GG. This change up on how fast MaxPax macros out of the 4-gate seems to really be throwing Clem for a loop. In the bottom left, now up 2-0, he is Psystorm's MaxPax. In the top right is the Red Terran, it is Team Liquid's Clem. And Clem does not have MaxPax's ticket today. Quite the opposite. MaxPax has figured out how to change up the tempo and pacing of his Twilight Council builds to mess with Clem. Because I think that the first game was unfortunate. You know, kind of like, oh, the timing could have been a little bit better and I could have been a little more healed up, and it is what it is. But the second game had hints of frustration from the Terran, in my opinion. Not that I think Clem literally just took his hands off the keyboard and threw his hands up in the air, but it was clear that, I don't know, not clear, but you watch that game with a very clear mind, let's say. Clem's calm, you know, done with the series and has eaten his food and come back to the PC to watch the replay. I think he would say that letting the reinforcements be caught like that should not happen. Like, he should have met up with them and chased off the Stalkers. And then even if he would still argue, no, like there was a chance the army wasn't big enough to defend the Colossus, I still wanted to do what I did. Okay. It seemed pretty clear, actually very quickly, that still wasn't going to work. Basically what I'm saying is that Clem didn't actually choose the option to retreat at any point. And I think if you're not frustrated, then you would have chosen the option to retreat and just kind of taken your licks from the Stalkers, so maybe lose 2 Marauders instead of the 5 and however many Marines went down. And then you play out the macro game. But Clem, seeing as the 4th base was on the way, and he knew he'd then be counterattacked with the Colossus range in MaxPax's favor. I mean, maybe correctly viewed that as an all-in, basically. But I would say that Clem is often more found not choosing the all-in, go, okay, whatever, man, tap out option. He is often more found in the, okay, let's go. Oh, shoot, that didn't work. Okay, let me try something one more time. Let me try one more thing. And he didn't. he just tapped out. He committed and tapped out. So I just, yeah, maybe I'm putting thoughts and feelings into there that doesn't actually exist. But, there's times where Clem looks like he's been unfazed from MaxPax in their series, and that's generally the ones that he wins, right? And then there's times where he has been phased. He's like this freaking guy. MaxPax's pretty good at that. One of the players that's, doesn't necessarily rely on the trickiest tricks that a Protoss trickster has ever tricked. But no matter what he does, whether it's the most straight up honest macro game ever, when you kill him, you probably feel really happy. You're just like, yeah, you freaking get that, you stupid Protoss player. Protoss players just like eating their lunch and be like, what did I do? MaxPax going for the early 3-gate, by the way. So not blink 3-gate, early 3-gate. Clem already with a bunker is already set up to defend the snowball, but what you can't do is defend the adept jumping on top of your SCVs. I mean, you can take them down, but they're going to dedicate or not. And this time they're going to dedicate. So the SCVs just get pulled away. Best possible answer. My goodness, what the fuck? Oh, no. Oh, no. Oh, you gotta imagine he was clicking furiously on that supply depot. You gotta. I mean, it doesn't cause that big of a catastrophe, but oh, let's talk about frustration. You gotta be frustrated at that one. No way he meant to leave that down. No. That was not a trap. This is a trap. The Adepts actually body block the Cyclone enough that it does not get to survive, and now we have 6 Protoss units up against 4 in a bunker, which can only protect so much. They need to be in the bunker to actually do anything, so they can't pop out, and it seems like MaxPax is going to get another one of these swift 3-0s. Despite being overall still not favored to win, he just surprises us with this. A little bit of a surround, however, with Marines on the high and low ground. Auto turret with some feisty DPS, and the SCVs helping made it look holdable. But at the end of it, Clem is still down 14 workers. MaxPax is going to lose a Stalker, but not 2 by the looks of things. The tank actually is going to go down. Might as well just shot at shot. And that is actually going to be it. Wowzers, this just happens, apparently. I can't explain it. Tides go in, tides go out. Clem, for the most part, wins against MaxPax fairly consistently. But then every so often just gets bopped by the guy. And you'd really have to bring out your microscope and get the replay up for analysis between 2 fairly identical games to see what the heck is actually different. So different about them that we'll get 3 zeros from Clem, 3 1s from Clem, and then suddenly just like whiplash, 3-0 from MaxPax. It's a bit of a conundrum sometimes. But that is it. One of the fastest best of 5 finals that we've had. Clem just not feeling the Terran versus MaxPax today. MaxPax really cutthroat this time around too. I like the change up into that 3 gate instead of just dedicating to the 4 gate over and over again. And that's going to be it for the casts. Thanks so much for watching, guys. Thanks for the resubs. As always, my casting YouTube, !YouTube, is kept up to date. I do upload the fun series from this Open Cup, as well as YouTube-only series, including GSL qualifiers. So if you want to see how people qualified into GSL, go to the YouTube.